Next, please welcome to Mission Control, the President and Chief Operating Officer of Ulta Beauty, Kecia Steelman. Kecia will be interviewed by Anne Mezzenga, co-CEO of OmniTalk.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. My name's Anne Mezzenga. I'm one of the co-founders of OmniTalk Retail, and I am so privileged to be able to sit up here with you, Kecia. I'd love to start the conversation first with a lot of people in the audience probably know Ulta, but can you give us a little bit of like the origin story behind Ulta and kind of all the places that customers can shop you today?
Absolutely. I'd like to start off by saying thank you, Anne, and thank you also to Shoptalk. It's truly an honor to be on the main stage, especially when I saw the impressive lineup of speakers that you've had. So thank you for your interest in Ulta Beauty and for inviting me to join you. So let's just give a little bit of background about Ulta Beauty. So Ulta Beauty right now, we have about 50,000 associates and 8,500 salon professionals. What's an interesting fun fact is 91% of our staff is female. So actually we need to work on diversity. We need some more men working for us, I think. When you think back to our founders that started the company 34 years ago, it was an old Eckerd drug, an Osco drug leader that decided to bring all beauty together in one place. And that model is just continuing to evolve. A couple of the interesting points is that initially they had services in all of the stores because they wanted to be able to sell professional hair products. And the only way that you could to have hair products was to have a salon. So thank goodness they did that because it's a competitive differentiator for us to have a services component in every one of our locations. And then they also decided to go off mall. Back in the day, 34 years ago, mall was the place to be.
They
went in strip centers because the real estate was less expensive. So that actually played out well for us too. About 10% of our chain is in malls now today. So that mix served us very, very well. You look at the last 10 years since I've been with the company, there's been a total evolution of our strategic focus right now too. And, when I joined the company, we were about a brand house. We had a lot of brands. We had our own brand, our Ulta Beauty brand, but then we also sold other brands. So we were like this brand destination for beauty. And in the 10 years since I've been there, we went from a place that sold products, so we were like all things beauty, all in one place, to the possibilities are beautiful. So becoming a little bit more of an emotional connection with the consumer, to we just announced this week, we had our investor day on Wednesday, that we want to be the destination of beauty for a lifetime, because the consumer that's shopping beauty is generational now. And you come into our stores and you can see the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter all shopping together. So it's this emotional connection that has continued to translate at Ulta Beauty. And I think that's a place that we really serve, not only in selling products, but really helping people feel their best selves. And that's a unique role that we play in retail today.
Well, and a big focus right now of the conversation here at Shoptalk Fall has been around unified commerce. And I think especially in beauty, this is so important. You're one of the front runners in the industry, really, who's thinking about how all of those multi-generational customers are finding Ulta. They're finding them from going in the store, from shopping online, from TikTok videos, from influencers that you're working with, to DoorDash. I just ordered mascara from DoorDash, and I was like, I can put my Ulta rewards in here? Like, this is brilliant.
It's great.
But a key component of that is really working on investing in technology to create that unified experience for your customers. Can you talk a little bit about where you're investing there in those tools so that customers feel like they have this one Ulta experience no matter where they're coming to you from?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will say the worlds that are digital and human connections coming together, that's really where the sweet spot happens. We need to meet our guests where they want to shop and how they want to shop. So that's really what we're focusing on, is keeping that consumer front and center. We just recently invested in our new digital architecture platform. So we were on a pretty monolithic system before for our e-commerce.
Okay.
So when we were doing launches or deployments, we were doing them maybe a couple of times a year. Now that we're on this new commerce tools platform, we have updates going out every couple of weeks. really focused on personalization and optimization and seeing what's working with the consumer and connecting that personal touch point, leveraging technology to do that. So now that we've got that digital architecture done, we're really transitioning now into, what's next for Ulta Beauty. We have a fund called Prisma Ventures. It's a capital investment fund that we are investing in earlier startup tech companies that, are kind of game changers out there in the industry. I'll give you three quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, give me some examples of like what that looks like from a customer.
Yeah, I'll give you three quick examples. So one is a company called Loom, which is robotic eyelash extensions. So you can actually have a robot put extensions on your eyes and also do in your fills.
Yeah.
It's the connectivity, the marketing that we're getting off of TikTok. Pull it up on TikTok. You can see a lot of this interactive. So even the social media buzz that we're getting, plus the product and the performance is really, really good. So we're looking at launching that in some more stores. So that Loom's a great example. Hang is another company that we've invested in that is about gamification. So that gamification and how you engage with the consumer in your brand in and of itself. We like what we're seeing, and the attachment rate, the return rate, once they've done some gamification with us, is in the 90th percentile. That's pretty impressive.
So what does the gamification look like from a consumer perspective? Like, how do I interact with you on that?
Yeah, so, think like Roblox is one way, or even if we've got some marketing launch that you can go find some tokens from us and you can get some loyalty points or a discount. It's just keeping that engagement happening. That's one great way that we're investing in a company. And then Hot AI is another one.
Okay.
I would encourage everyone to go to the Ulta.com app, and there's a skin analysis tool. Ooh. Be brave. I would say be brave. Oh Put your face in the skin analysis tool. It will show you where you have fine lines, wrinkles, dryness, redness, acne, etc. It will not only show you what your skin type looks like, but it will also give you product recommendations. So you can purchase those products, and then at the same time, you can go back in and recheck on how your skin is looking, and you can see the progress that's been made. So that's a great example of a way that we're leveraging technology to not only educate, but also drive the business and give you some self-satisfaction on, are these products that you're using actually helping you look younger, which I think that's important for all of us.
That's the goal, Kecia.
Absolutely.
Let's have that happen. I think that's so interesting, especially when I think about, I'm sure many of you, in my experience in an Ulta, you're going to the store to really get that professional's opinion on the exact questions that you're talking about. And so it's interesting to hear how you're kind of giving that experience, whether you're starting in a digital format or you're going into the store. But I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about my most recent trip to our Mall of America store in Minneapolis. I walked in, I was greeted by several associates, but one in particular, Jeannie, and she told me she was taking me through a new skincare product line that I should explore. She was saying, I've been in interior design. I've been in a lot of other fields. I was an engineer, and now I'm doing this job at Ulta. And I love it so much because of the tools and technology that are at my disposal to really help facilitate this interaction with the customers in store. Will you talk a little bit about what some of those tools are that your associates like Jeannie are able to use that are better than an engineering tool? That surprised me.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for your business. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
And, I love that you're calling out Jeannie, because I'm a big believer, we can do all kinds of marketing, but the very best interaction that we have is our associates being knowledgeable about the products. They're the best salespeople that we can have out there, and they really bring our brand to life in our stores. So a couple of things that we've invested in is one is our LMS tool. It's called Ulta Learn. So that's more of a stationary platform, training mechanism in the back room where they can really get on-the-job training, more about leadership training, coaching and development that's real time, that can be personalized for them as an individual on where they are in their journey. And then the second is around our workplace training platforms. We have a partnership with WorkJam where once you get into the geofence of the store and you're on the clock, which is really important, you can leverage your own personal device to get these micro learnings and micro trainings. So think 1 to 2 minute brand type training and education courses. So Jeannie, the example that you gave about skin, in 1 to 2 minutes, the brand has worked in partnership with us on giving them just quick snippets of training of like, how do you apply it? What's the benefits, et cetera. We've had, since we've installed this, about 15 million views on our WorkJam channels for training and education. We just launched a new Shape Tape concealer that we already had 25,000 views from our associates on these micro learnings and these trainings.
Right.
This is how people want to learn now. They want to just tell me what I need to know, make it in a fun, interactive way, and then they can bring that to life in their interaction with the consumer. So that's great. And then the last training that we've invested in is really on our management training programs. So the managers of the stores. We want them to be the very best leaders. I think back to my early education and experiences at Target. We were talking about this stage that I started my career at Target Corporation, and it was so important for me to get to where I am today because of having such great leaders along the way. So the more we can invest in our leaders to be great teachers and trainers and developers of talent as we're continuing to grow our store base, that's going to continue to bring our brand to life and continue to help us be really successful in the future.
Yeah. So, really focus, it sounds like, on those associate tools that are helping do quick onboarding and training. Especially, I think it's key to point out on the associates' own devices. I think that helps a lot. The fewer devices they have to go between to get that learning done, and the faster they can do it, the better.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Target. I want to talk a little bit about your Target partnership, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
It's another example of how you are meeting the Ulta customer where they are, and in a trip type that might be a little bit different than my trip to an Ulta store. I have to ask you, Kecia, what do you say to people who might come back to you? You had an investor meeting this week, I know, and say, is that stealing share? Are you in a position where they're spending at Target versus spending at Ulta? How would you answer that question?
It's a great question. What I will say is that we view this as a strategic partnership. It's this ecosystem and this flywheel of meeting the guests where they are on their shopping journey. When you think about what's in play for us at Ulta Beauty, why would we want to do this partnership? So from an internal perspective, it's about being able to be in front of a new guest that might not come into an Ulta Beauty store initially. Our location inside of Target is front and center. We've got prime real estate. They've got 30 million plus guests that are walking through their doors on any given week. So we have the opportunity to engage with a new guest. The second is it's an opportunity for us to re-engage with a guest that might have lapsed with us. It's a convenience play for the guests. A lot of times you're coming in to get your toilet paper, your bananas, and whatever, and then you say, "Oh wait, maybe there's something I need to get from Ulta Beauty here." So for us to be able to re-engage with potentially a lapsed member meaning somebody that hasn't shopped with us in 12 months or longer, what we're seeing is when they re-engage with Ulta Beauty at Target, we then are marketing back to them to get them back into Ulta Beauty, and they're coming back in. So that's what's in it for us. For the guest, it's really a total convenience play.
Yeah.
And it's an infill. What we're seeing is they're purchasing like kits and trial size.
Yes.
Price points are a little bit lower. We've launched, Fenty launched Snacks by Fenty. So they actually came up with a new size that's Ulta Beauty Target specific only.
Interesting.
So, I think there's more opportunity for us to continue to do that and just keep it in the ecosystem. So I view this as it's a strategic partnership that actually helps us continue to grow our brand and keep our guests engaged in the brand. What we heard from the guests when we launched this was this like Target, Starbucks, Ulta Beauty, I don't need to go anywhere else.
Right.
So when the customer is telling you that this is, something that really helps them in their shopping behaviors and patterns, I think that's when we hit the sweet spot.
Well, one thing that I know that you're unlocking for the Target customer, the DoorDash customer, is access to still get loyalty points. That is a huge undertaking, and I think that that's not something to be taken lightly, but that also gives you a lot of data about what your customers are doing on each of those platforms. Quick show of hands, who in the audience is an Ulta Beauty member? Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I still have more opportunity for more, though.
There's still more opportunity. There is 44 million loyalty members out there. I know this week you just reported you're trying to get to 50 million by 2028. Talk a little bit about how loyalty plays into your ability to give Ulta consumers this unified shopping experience.
Yeah. Well, I will say it's a backbone to how we continue to look and drive our business. 95% of our sales that come through Ulta Beauty are through our members. So the data that we have on how they shop, frequency, how we should communicate to them, personalized offerings, it's really, really important. And thank you for calling out that we just put out this aggressive target of we believe we could be at 50 million loyalty members by 2028. It's exciting. I would say that data is a key driver for our business. And as you're looking at how you can leverage AI or Gen AI and create personalized marketing campaigns and have better use of your marketing dollars to attract and gain that customer coming into your door, data is everything. So
yeah.
It's really important. And you know what? You mentioned our partnership with Target. It was table stakes in the beginning, and it was not easy to do.
Yeah.
To have two integrated linked systems or linked programs. But what I will say is that the linking that we've had in the 3 years we've been in the partnership, we have 4 million linked members between Circle and our Ulta Beauty Rewards programs. And those guests are spending 2 times more at Ulta Beauty. So the power of that data and having that loyalty information is really, really important.
Yeah, and you're able to further personalize the experience for them too,
Absolutely.
I imagine. One question I want to slip in quickly is around this new community that you've developed online called Joy Hub. I'm curious, coming from Target myself and knowing about like how, especially now, you have to prove the ROI for some of these investments. Where does Joy Hub kind of fit in, and how do you justify that investment in resources and capital?
Yeah, well, let me give a fun fact. Well-being, this focus on well-being and wellness, which we think is part of beauty today, we surveyed and the feedback was pretty alarming. 94% of consumers feel that joy is important to them having a good well-being, but yet only 50% feel that they have enough joy in their life. I feel like we've got a responsibility and the role that we play in people's lives to help them continue to feel better about themselves and create that emotional connection. We just launched our community platform, which is a place where you can go and interact with other beauty-loving people to get advice, share advice, have this community. And you mentioned the Joy Hub. If you go to ulta.com, you can go onto the Joy Hub. Dr. Deepak Chopra is our Chief Joy Council member, and he's leading all these video curated content about well-being and how you need to take care of yourself and self-care. We feel that is such a critical part of beauty in how you feel. If you feel good on the inside, it reflects on the outside. And, I think sometimes people think, oh, you work for a superficial beauty company. We're so much more than that.
Yeah.
We have a responsibility to help people feel their very best selves. It's not just about putting things on, it's about reflecting how you're feeling today. And if we can continue to work on bringing more joy out there in the world, I think that's a pretty darn good place to be.
So that Joy Lab, just to get in, that's going to be for anyone, or are you getting loyalty information? Like, how do you kind of pay off that?
Yeah. Anybody can go to the Joy Hub. You need to go into our Ulta.com website and you need to go into our platform. But you can get curated content all about well-being, joy, bringing more joy to yourself and your life. And we'll just continue to pump out more content going forward.
All right. Well, let's wrap up with the joy theme. Holidays coming up. Number one thing you're excited about for the holiday season at Ulta?
It's hard to say one thing.
You got to pick one. We only have a few seconds.
Yeah, our marketing campaign is the joy is the present. So I think you can play on that, those words a little bit. I think it's going to be that we offer affordable luxury. And so I think that as people are thinking with their dollars and where they can really give something and give a gift or buy something for themselves to feel better, Ulta Beauty is the place to be. So come check us out because we've got some great assortments and we can take care of all of your holiday needs and anything for yourself too.
Thank you so much, Kecia. Let's give Kecia a big round of applause.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right.